Okay, so this is going to be a quick video. In this video, I'll give a full in-depth guide on how I fit my Euro Profile Mortice locks. In this video, there's going to be a lot of explanations and demonstrations. So it may be best to take notes or save the video so you can come back to it whenever you need to. On this job, we fitted the full 30 doors in this lab. We also have a full video on the 30 door fitting process, so if you'd like to watch that after, I'll tag it down below. But let's get straight into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so this is going to be a quick video of how to fit a mortise lock with a cylinder. Okay, so the tools you're going to need are a square, some chisels. I use 25 and 20 mil, a hammer. I use a router, but you don't really need the router if you've got the chisels. You can do it with the chisels. A combi drill. I also have a pilot drill. A Stanley knife is crucial, and I've got a 20 mil and 60 mil flat bit. And you also need a sharp pencil. Okay, well, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so here we're working with a metal frame. So it's got the keep already. First, I square across the opening of the keep, and then shut the door, square that across too. So I know my latch and my lock needs to get inside these two openings. Okay, once I've done that, I square the line across, on the door face, square it across, and again square it across. Okay, now I'll put my lock up towards the door. I make sure that the latch and the lock is in between the two lines, so that I know the latch and the lock is going to retract inside the keep. Just pull it against the keep now, and I know it will go inside the keep on the door frame. When I know it's in the correct spot, I just mark the top and the bottom of the box, the cylinder box. So I've got my two marks. The box needs to go in between here, and the latch and the lock needs to go in between here. Okay, and that is how you mark out on a metal frame, but more commonly you'll be doing it on a timber frame, so I'll quickly show how to do it on the timber frame as well. It is the same process with just minor differences. Okay, because we're doing it to the existing lock, a lock used to be there, what we do is we shut the door, and I mark where the lock was. So mark here and mark here. Okay, I then do the exact same process. I ensure that the lock and the latch is inside the marks, and then I mark the box. I then square the lines across. Once I've squared the lines across, I then need to find the center point of the door. This door is a 45mm thickness door, so I set my square to 22.5 and make the mark. A way to check that you are 100% center of the door is to get a utility knife, mark on one side of the door, and on the other side it should line up perfectly. Then just square that line down from the top mark to the bottom mark. Once you have got all your marks done, you just need to start drilling out for the lock. Here I'm using a 20mm flat bit because I find it easier to maneuver when I put the lock in the opening without showing any imperfections on the door. It's always best to check the manufacturer's information if you're unsure about what size flat bit to use. To drill out the lock, you put the tip of your flat bit onto the mark previously made, and then just drill into the door. Ensure that your drill is going in level and straight. Firstly, taking out the top and bottom and then the middle after. Once I've drilled out the majority of the lock, I then get my dust extractor or hoover and clean out the inside. I then use my 20mm auger bit to clean out the rest of the opening to fit the lock inside. When cleaning out, again ensure that you're going in straight and level so you don't go through the door face. Once the opening is all drilled out, put the lock in to test if it fits. The latch curve should be facing the door frame. On some locks you may need to change the latch position to the right way. It is different on most latches. On this one you just push the button up and turn it. Check the manufacturer's information if unsure. Once I know that the lock can fit in properly and the latch is the right way, I then again get the center point of the door and mark for where the screw holes are going. This is so that the lock goes in straight. I then use 1/2" screws to screw the lock on temporarily. Ensure that the screw and the mark are lined up and then screw in. To make sure the lock is central and level, you can always use your combination square on both sides to check. It should be the same measurement on both sides. Once we know that the lock is in the correct place, central and level, we can get our Stanley knife and start marking around. I recommend going light on the first pass and then gradually adding more pressure. Once you have marked around the lock, then simply unscrew the lock. Get a hammer and chisel. Here I'm using a 25mm chisel, and with it mark around the outer edge of the marks you previously made, always working in between the lines. For the top and bottom, I'll switch to my 20mm chisel and do the same. Once the marks are made, I can then get my router, set the depth of the router so that the lock is flush with the door. Once you have the required depth, then just start routering out, ensuring that you're in between the lines. Once you have done the routering out process, then get your 20mm chisel and do any fine tuning, cleaning up the edges, ensuring that you're not going past the lines previously made. Once you have done any fine tuning, then just try the lock and see how it fits. Now that the lock fits in the opening and it's flush with the door, now you just line up the lock face with the face done on the door. I then get my pilot hole drill. I use a 2.5mm or 3mm bit and drill a central hole where the spindle barrel will be. I then mark with a pencil where my Euro cylinder lock will be. Because this is quite a dark door, if you can't see your marking, then simply use mastic tape on the door and mark on top. Once you have your marks, I then get my 20mm drill bit and 16mm drill bit. I drill out the top with my 20mm drill bit and the bottom with my 16mm drill bit. I also use a 20mm drill bit for where the spindle bar's gotta be going. Here I'm using the 16mm drill bit for the bottom of the lock. Then just repeat the same process on the other side of the door.
You said never let me go. 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 You said never let me go.
Once you have drilled out, put the lock mechanism back in and check that the holes made line up with the spindle and the lock cylinder. If the holes don't line up perfectly, use the auger bit's outer edge and clean up any imperfections. Then try the lock again. You may need to keep taking the lock in and out to clean up any imperfections if the lock wasn't lined up properly when marking. This is the type of hole that should be made. Now that that's done, here comes all of the easier bits. First, pilot hole, then screw the lock mechanism to the door. Then put the spindle barrel through the spindle hole, along with the handles. Now normally, these type of handles come with a bolt, but these handles didn't come with a bolt. They provided enough screws to put in each hole, and then we tighten the Allen key at the bottom to hold it in place. This is still a secure way of fixing the handles. On these type of handles, it is very important to tighten the Allen key at the bottom, because if you don't, over time the handles may drop off. After that, on these type of handles, you put on the faceplate and then use the Allen key to tighten it on. Once that is done, you can move on to the cylinder. Get the cylinder. Because this is a thumb turn lock, you put the excursion plate on first, on the thumb turn side. Put the lock in the locked position. Then screw in the barrel to hold the cylinder in position. Again, with these excursion plates, they don't come with bolts. They're provided enough screws to screw in all of the holes. So we then simply screw in all of the provided screws. Again, with these face plates, tighten up the Allen key at the bottom to secure it. Now that the lock and handles are done, it's time to move on to the key. First, check that the door is still shutting properly, and check that the lines still line up with the lock and latch. Because I'm using the old keep position, I'm just lining up the keep plate with the old notches out on the frame. I then mark around the keep, get my chisel and notch out for the key. Once you have notched out, put the keep in the opening and mark in the inside, so you know where to drill out. Once I've marked, I get my 20mm auger bit and take out the necessary amount. Some manufacturers provide a box for the keep. With this, I just mark around the box and take out how much I need to fit the box in. Ensure the keep is in the correct position and pilot hole and screw up the keep. Once that is done, test the door and check that it locks properly. Now what's left is just to admire your work. Now, because we used the existing keep pocket and the keep isn't the exact same size as the previous one, there is a little bit of tidying up to do. Here I'm just using poly filler, but you can also use wood filler or any other filling product that matches the same colour as the door frame. So if you've got this far along in the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you. It helps out the channel a lot, and if you could like and subscribe, that will help out tremendously a lot as well. So thank you. But the reason why I've started the video is because I've got a little giveaway going away, and it is a cash prize. The winner will be getting a cash prize. So let me just explain it now real quick. So the details of the giveaway are as followed. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this video, which will look like this, if it will just focus now, which will look like this. All you need to do is press this link, go onto my personal Instagram, my business Instagram, my YouTube, which you should be on now, the main TikTok and the backup TikTok. Follow all of them. Go to my personal Instagram, and then once you're on my personal Instagram, what you need to do is just message me and say done, and then you'll be entered. Okay, so all you need to do is message me and say done, and then that would automatically mean you've entered the giveaway. If you send me a screenshot of you following everything, it will automatically enter you into the giveaway. For every like and comment you do on my post, it will be another entry. You've got a maximum of 3 entries. So if you go to, let's say, this post and you like and comment on it, that's entry. If you go on my personal Instagram, like and comment on this, that is another entry. And you've got the maximum of 3 entries. It's completely free. You don't have to spend the money. The cash prize will be £250 for the first winner. Second winner will get another, and the third winner will get another. I haven't decided how much yet for the second and third, but it will also be announced on my TikTok. The announcement will be made on my backup TikTok. Okay, so it will be on my backup TikTok that I will do the draw, and I will announce the winner of the giveaway. Good luck everyone, and may the best person win. But let's get straight back to the video. Now that the whole lock fitting process is done, I do have some other videos. For example, a door fitting process and a latch fitting process that you can watch. I will try and tag them. But here is a quick time lapse, a recap on the lock fitting process. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.
You said never